Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Moses, Part 4, Praying to the Golden Calf. The miraculous parting of the Red Sea was still fresh in the Israelites' minds when they passed by a town of idol worshippers on their way to the Promised Land. Accustomed to worshipping Pharaoh and the gods he approved, the Israelites felt an idol was amiss, although they were aware that it was none other than Allah who saved them from the tyrant. They couldn't help but desire an idol for themselves. Musa was appalled that his people had learned nothing from their trials. Indeed, you are a people acting ignorantly. What they follow is certainly doomed to destruction, and their deeds are in vain. Shall I seek for you a God other than Allah, while He has honored you above the others? Still, Allah favored Musa's nation. When the Israelites quarreled over the shortage of water, Allah ordered His messenger to strike the rock with your staff. Upon striking the rock, miraculously split, revealing 12 springs to quench the thirst of the 12 different tribes. When they were overcome with hunger, Allah offered them quail and manna, a sweet dried exudate of certain plants. Despite this, they were never content. Musa reprimanded them. What, would you exchange that which is better for that which is lower? Go down to any town and you shall find what you want.
وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا مُوسَىٰ لَن نَّصْبِرَ عَلَىٰ طَعَامٍ وَاحِدٍ فَادْعُ لَنَا رَبَّكَ يُخْرِجْ لَنَا مِمَّا تُنبِتُ الْأَرْضُ مِن بَقْلِهَا وَقِثَّائِهَا وَفُومِهَا وَعَدَسِهَا وَبَصَلِهَا ۖ قَالَ أَتَسْتَبْدِلُونَ الَّذِي هُوَ أَدْنَىٰ بِالَّذِي هُوَ خَيْرٌ ۚ اهْبِطُوا مِصْرًا فَإِنَّ لَكُم مَّا سَأَلْتُمْ ۗ
Allah guided Musa to lead the Israelites to the Promised Land, where they were destined to live in freedom and adhere to Allah's law. However, during their journey they were ungrateful. They incessantly whined and cried, showing little appreciation. When Musa ordered them to conquer Canaan, a land occupied by their enemies, the Hittites, they hesitated. This is despite their vast numbers, which are reportedly 600,000 people. Only 2 men stood ready to fight, trusting in Allah's plan, while the rest cowered away.
وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم اذكروا نعمة الله عليكم إذ جعل فيكم أنبياء وجعلكم ملوكا وآتاكم ما لم يؤت أحدا من العالمين يا قوم ادخلوا الأرض المقدسة التي كتب الله لكم ولا ترتدوا على أدباركم فتنقلبوا خاسرين قالوا يا موسى إن فيها قوما جبارين وإنا لن ندخلها حتى يخرجوا منها فإن يخرجوا منها فإنا داخلون.
The 2 men tried to convince their people. They said, assault them through the gate, where when you are in, victory will be yours. And put your trust in Allah if you are believers indeed. Nevertheless, they said, O Musa, never shall we enter it as long as they are there. Go forth, then, you and your Lord, and fight, both of you. As for us, we will sit here. Prophet Musa was frustrated and tired. He finally gave up on his people, as he knew that no matter what Allah bestowed upon them, they would not be content and would continue to transgress. He returned to his Lord, asking to be responsible only for the actions of himself and his brother Harun. So pleaded with his Lord, My Lord, I have no control over anyone except myself and my brother, so set us apart from the rebellious people. Allah said, This land will now be forbidden to them for 40 years, and they will remain wandering about on the earth. Do not grieve over the condition of these transgressing people. Their journey transformed into an endless cycle of restless wandering, where each day seemed to end where it began. Aimlessly they traveled through the desert until one day their path brought them to Mount Sinai, the sacred site of Moses' first encounter with Allah. Here Musa broke away from the group to seek out guidance, as he felt lost and unsure of what to do next. He left the group under the leadership of Harun. At the mount, Musa sought direction from his Lord on how best to lead his people. Allah responded, instructing his messenger to purify himself first by fasting for 30 days. Following this command, Allah would then give him the laws by which to govern his people.
ولما جاء موسى لميقاتنا وكلمه ربه قال رب أرني أنظر إليك قال لن تراني ولكن انظر إلى الجبل فإن استقر مكانه فسوف تراني فلما تجلى ربه للجبل جعله دكا وخر موسى صعقا فلما أفاق قال سبحانك تبت إليك وأنا أول المؤمنين.
The Almighty said to Musa, O Musa, I have indeed preferred you to all others by virtue of the message I have entrusted to you, and by virtue of my speaking to you. Hold fast therefore to whatever I have granted you, and give thanks. Allah then revealed to Prophet Musa tablets of stone inscribed with his divine rules and laws, the 10 Commandments. In the Quran, it is believed the exact commandments Musa was given were also revealed to the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ in Surah Al-An'am. Say, O Prophet, come, let me recite to you what your Lord has forbidden to you. Do not associate others with him in worship. Do not fail to honor your parents. Do not kill your children for fear of poverty. We provide for you and them. Do not come near indecencies, openly or secretly. Do not take a human life made sacred by Allah, except with legal right. And do not come near the wealth of the orphan, unless intending to enhance it, until they attain maturity. Give full measure and weigh with justice. We never require any soul more than what it can afford. Whenever you speak, maintain justice, even regarding a close relative, and fulfill your covenant with Allah. This is what He has commanded you. So perhaps you will be mindful, and moreover, this is my path, which is straight, so follow it, and do not follow other ways, for you will be separated from His way. This has He instructed you, that you may become righteous. During the absence of Musa, the task of leading the people temporarily fell on Prophet Harun. However, as the days passed, a sense of restlessness and unease began to grow among the people. Taking advantage of this sentiment, a corrupted and rebellious magician, whom the Quran refers to as a Samiri, spread a rumor that Musa had abandoned them. He then proposed they should look for another god to guide them, for they were lost. With no opposition from the people, he collected the gold jewelry they had received from the Egyptians and placed the items in a pit. He then kindled a large fire, melting the gold down. During the casting, he threw some dust and made gestures to enhance the illusion of his magic. Skillfully, he shaped the molten gold into the form of a calf, hollow in construction. This was engineered with a distinct purpose. As Samiri knew the people's history and how similar superstitions of the past fooled them, so when the wind blew through the calf, it produced a sound, mimicking something supernatural. And so many people just accepted the golden calf as their new god. Prophet Harun was in great distress. He tried to warn them by saying, "My people, you are fallen into error because of the calf. Surely your Lord is most compassionate. So follow me and obey my command." But they answered, "By no means shall we cease to worship it until Moses returns to us." However, a group of them remained patient, believing in Allah and His message. They distanced themselves from the idol worshippers, awaiting Moses' return. Back at Mount Sinai, Allah revealed to Musa, "We have indeed tested your people in your absence," and a Samiri had led them astray. The Israelites danced and chanted around the statue of the golden calf when Musa made his return. Witnessing the current state of his people, he was overwhelmed with a mix of sorrow and fury.
فرجع موسى إلى قومه غضبان أسفا قال يا قوم ألم يعدكم ربكم وعدا حسنا أفطال عليكم العهد أم أردتم أن يحل عليكم غضب من ربكم فأخلفتم موعدي قالوا ما أخلفنا موعدك بملكنا ولكننا حملنا أوزارا من زينة القوم فقذفناها فكذلك ألقى السامري فأخرج لهم عجلا جسدا له خوار فقالوا هذا إلهكم وإله موسى فنسي.
Musa then turned to his brother with anger. He understood the people's weaknesses, but he held Harun responsible for not preventing this idolatrous behavior. He threw the tablets down and seized his brother by his beard, pulling him towards him. He said, "Harun, what prevented you when you saw them going astray?" Harun explained, "My mother's son, the people overpowered me and almost killed me. So let not my enemies gloat over me, and do not number me among the wrongdoing folk." Musa's anger subsided when he realized that his brother was helpless. Musa questioned a Samiri. "What then is your case, O Samiri?" He answered, "I saw what the people didn't see, so I took a handful of dust from the trail of the messenger, and I flung it into the fire. Thus did my mind prompt me." Samiri was banished and forced to live of isolation. As for the golden calf, it was destroyed by fire, and its ashes spread across the sea. Musa then addressed his people, asking them to seek forgiveness from Allah for disobedience. The punishment decreed for their transgression was severe.
وإذ قال موسى لقومه يا قوم إنكم ظلمتم أنفسكم باتخاذكم العجل فتوبوا إلى بارئكم فاقتلوا أنفسكم ذلكم خير لكم عند بارئكم فتاب عليكم إنه هو التواب الرحيم.
So among the elites they questioned whether the divine laws brought by Musa were really from Allah and wanted evidence. So Musa chose 70 elders from among the Israelites to travel to Mount Sinai, where he once again ordered, "Rush towards Allah and repent for what you did, and ask for His forgiveness for what you left." The men remained arrogant and disbelieving. To show His boundless mercy, Allah spoke directly to Musa in the presence of the Israelites, so they may hear His words and believe. Despite this, their belief persisted. They confronted their prophet with a new demand, saying, "O Musa, we will never believe you until we see Allah with our own eyes." It was apparent that nothing could convince the men to abandon their old ways and worship Allah. So Allah made Himself known to the 70 men through a fierce punishment. Bolts of lightning appeared across the sky while the ground trembled. The men fell, losing their lives as disbelievers. Prophet Musa was overcome with sorrow for his people. He appealed to his Lord to pardon them for their foolish actions.
وَإِذْ قُلْتُمْ يَا مُوسَى لَن نُّؤْمِنَ لَكَ حَتَّىٰ نَرَى اللَّهَ جَهْرَةً فَأَخَذَتْكُمُ الصَّاعِقَةُ وَأَنتُمْ تَنظُرُونَ ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاكُم مِّن بَعْدِ مَوْتِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ